Hello. A while ago, I realized that we have not talked about traditional meads at all on this channel. It's all been fruited or spice stuff, which is all fine and good. But, you know, most people start out making a traditional mead with, I don't know, a kit or something similar. And it can be really discouraging if you just ferment a dry mead, drink it, and you're like, this is bitter, this is sour, this is weird. It tastes like a bland white wine, which, fresh out of fermentation, that can happen. But I really love traditional mead. All it takes is a little bit of balancing and usually a little bit of age. I tend to prefer traditional meads a little sweeter also. We have here's an orange blossom traditional I made back in June of last year. It's 14% ABV, and this one's completely dry. This is a meadow foam traditional that I made in April of last year. This one is sweet. This was fermented dry and then back sweetened. And most recently, and what I'll show you how to do in this recipe, is a mead with coriander blossom honey that fermented out to 17.5% ABV and remains sweet. So this is a sack traditional, and I will show you that process right now, and then we'll go to a tasting. Overall, this is a pretty simple recipe, but with a lot of things to keep in mind. We'll go over some notes after the list before we get into the process. In primary, I started with 7 pounds of water and 5 pounds of honey. In volume, this is a 1:2 ratio of honey to water, which is the exact ratio needed to make a traditional Polish trójniak. Probably butchered that pronunciation, my bad. However, there's a lot of other specifications to legally call it one, like having an ABV between 12 to 15%, aging at least a year, and some other things with the acid content. So I'm just not going to call it that. Moving on, I added 3 grams of Opti White and 1.5 grams of FT Blanc Soft in primary, and when I racked to secondary, I added 1 gram of Tannin Complex. I'm using Kveik Lutra today. My starting gravity was a whopping 1150, and I was targeting a final gravity of 1030. We're going to hop on over to the Meadtools interface to go over a few things now. Meadtools will usually calculate this ratio of water to honey closer to 1140, so either my honey was significantly sweeter or something was measured wrong, because I'm starting pretty above that. If you use Meadtools for your meads, which you should because it's awesome, you can adjust the Brix of your honey to match your actual starting gravity instead of using what's projected. Now there's a few other challenges here that make me hesitant to recommend it to first-time brewers. First, Lutra has a stated ABV tolerance of 15%. With a starting gravity of 1150, we would hit that tolerance at 1038. Luckily, yeast can't read the package. We should be able to push past it with a healthy fermentation. Kveik yeast also require more nitrogen than any other strain I've worked with, but Meadtools has us covered with the calculations there. We also start running into Del stability concerns when our brew reaches about 1050. We can also push past this with a healthy fermentation, but if we run into any slowdowns or stalls beyond that point, this will never start fermenting again, and if the mead is too sweet when it stalls, we'll need to figure out something else to do with it. If you decide to attempt this, keep your temperature in the medium-high range of Lutra's tolerance and use a combination of organic and inorganic nitrogen with a staggered nutrient addition schedule. Also know you're risking an early stall if things don't work out. So I started as expected by mixing up my water and honey in a sanitized container while my yeast was rehydrating. Coriander blossom is one of the more complex varietals I've used. I typically categorize honeys as predominantly fruity, floral, earthy, or spicy. And then I subcategorize them further into bright, mellow, delicate, robust, just kind of tag them with different flavor notes. Help me pick out what I want to use for any particular project. I'd classify coriander as mostly herbal and spicy, as it has a bit of a savory cardamom or even the licorice note. But it also has a somewhat bright finish with notes of ginger and citrus, while still feeling smooth all the way through. I honestly felt a bit lost trying to think of what fruits or spices to pair this with, but it stands pretty well on its own, so I thought it was a perfect excuse to make it traditional. I took my gravity reading here, and that's when I noticed that I was way over the target starting gravity, so I went back into Meadtools to recalculate it to 1150 so I could get proper nutrient calculations. Then I added my other additives, pitched my yeast, and left it alone to do its thing. Fermentation kicked off pretty quickly, so on day 2, 3, and 4, I checked it, added my nutrients, took gravity readings, etc. Then after 2 more weeks, I took another reading and read 1.020. This was much lower than the target, so this put the ABV at 17.5% with a decent level of residual sweetness. A week later, I got the same reading, so I racked it over to secondary to age and clear. I decided I didn't really want to oak it, so this is where I added the gram of tannin complex. If you plan on oaking, I would skip this addition. About 2 months later, it was looking pretty clear, so I figured it was time to go in for some balance adjustments. I took one taste and decided I didn't really want to change it in any way. The tannins did their job. I really liked the sweetness level it came down to naturally. Biggest surprise was the acidity though. I don't think I've ever not added acid to a traditional, but I truly felt this needed nothing. I took another gravity reading to confirm there was no extra movement and went ahead and bottled it. So as of now, this traditional has been aging about 4 months, a little under that. And for 17.5%, that is not a lot of time to let any kind of higher alcohol burn age out. But I remember it tasting pretty good at bottling, which was about a month ago now. So we'll give it a shot. Very nice. Hope you can see the clarity on that. Smells just like I remember. It's heavy. It's really like bold, thick. A little spicy, a little earthy. You definitely get some sweet honey notes. I would say ginger and vanilla are pretty strong on the nose. It's very rich. Let's have a taste. That's really good. It's really sweet up front, not like cloyingly. The acid balance still is really good. I didn't adjust the acid at all on this one. If I just did that, it's bright like ginger. So the aroma definitely carries over to the taste. And on the exhale, it has kind of a licorice note, which I find phenomenal, actually. There is some alcohol burn that hides that licorice part a little bit. Yeah, it's warming, alcohol warming, and as well and spice warming. So it's smooth with some kind of ginger and citrusy brightness, with kind of a smoothing feeling of vanilla, and then a like kind of spicy star anise licorice exhale. And that's where like on that exhale, I hope that improves a little bit, because after you taste the licorice, then like the alcohol is very present. Not unpleasantly. I guess I shouldn't say I hope that ages out. Because I don't know. Maybe I'm weird. I kind of like an alcohol burn. It is not nearly as strong tasting as any of the math adds up to be. At 17.5%, it's always going to have like alcohol presence. What's the final gravity on this? I want to say like 1028, 1030. At this current time, right now, this is the best traditional I've ever made. But I haven't tried my meadow foam in a while, so that one could still be my favorite. I don't know. It was definitely meadow foam at the time. It is interesting to me that that coriander blossom honey has those distinct flavor notes: ginger, vanilla, and licorice, while like star anise honey has more of like an almondy flavor. So like the plant doesn't always match the honey. I'll say. It matches the blossom of the honey better, but you know, when you're dealing with spices, it doesn't always match the part that we consume. So yeah, definitely give coriander blossom a try if you want kind of a rich, complex honey. Anyway, that's all I got. I don't think I'm gonna do all of my traditionals. Like I pretty much always have a different like varietal of traditional going, but probably won't make videos on all of them. Just really wanted to showcase this one because I really liked how it came out. But anyway, peace.